Boruto Chapter 40 review. Alright guys, this chapter was controversial. This was probably like one of the first chapters that we've gotten in a very long time, specifically ever since chapter 15, where we were just like not surprised or not overjoyed with the content of the chapter. Now I do want to make this absolutely clear. This chapter in no ways was a bad chapter, it just wasn't what we expected. For example, we got to see the abilities of Boro. We got to see Sarada with the 3 tomoes. We got to see possibly another stage of the Kara Member. We didn't see Jigen get confronted by Kashin Koji. We didn't see if Kashin Koji is in fact going to continue on with the mission. We didn't get any updates on Jigen's condition. We didn't get any new information about the Kara organization or the Kara Member period, but there is still a lot of stuff that we do have to unpack about this chapter of Boruto that I am super excited to talk about. Now the first thing that I do want to talk about is Naruto being sealed away. We finally understand that Naruto is actually in this small ball right here. A lot of you guys did actually comment in my last review talking about how you guys think that Naruto might have actually been sealed in that. Now it's kind of confirmed. Boro actually said like, hey, Naruto was in here, and Boro even used Naruto as like a diversion to pretty much go into a sneak attack. Here's what I think actually might have happened. I think that the place that Jigen actually took Naruto to, the other dimension, is actually that ball. What Jigen probably did was he probably shrank that whole dimension into a ball. I'm pretty sure you guys recall one of Jigen's go-to moves is to shrink things, and this right here might actually be one of the things that he actually shrank. Once Jigen was actually leaving Naruto, you pretty much see Naruto looking around and realizing that there was a cap on the dimension that he was in, and then out of nowhere you seen Jigen just fly out of that ball, and then out of nowhere that ball is now extremely small. I don't think that Naruto's like being squished up as of right now. I think that Naruto himself is also extremely small and extremely tiny, and of course when they're throwing the ball around, Naruto's probably flying around all around that little ball thing right there. So no worries about Naruto being squished and pretty much scrunched up in that little ball. But the big question about it is going to be, can Kawaki actually unseal Naruto? Now Kawaki doesn't necessarily have that ability. Of course, there's been a big theme about how everything that Jigen could possibly do, Kawaki can do as well, mainly because he has the same exact Karma Seal. But in this situation, I think that this is an ability that's very separate from the Karma Seal, just like the ability that Kawaki has of multiplying a bunch of cells rapidly, which looks like wood style. These are things that are separate from the Karma Seal, and because of that, Kawaki's not going to necessarily be able to unseal Naruto. So the only person as of right now that we know of that is going to be able to unseal Naruto is going to have to be Jigen. Now here's the thing, it's going to be a little bit funny, mainly because this is very different from what we've seen from a lot of the enemies in the past. I personally feel like if somebody were to ask Jigen nicely, he'd probably unseal Naruto. It is mainly because Jigen really doesn't care about Naruto. Jigen doesn't really care about anybody else. What Jigen feels is that once he gets all the power that he wants, or once he pretty much turns Kawaki into his vessel, or pretty much goes into Kawaki's body, no one's going to be able to stop him, and that includes Naruto. So if Naruto wants to be free, if Naruto wants to be the Hokage of his village for the next year or two, to him it probably won't even matter. But of course, looking forward to the overall theme of it from the first episode or the first chapter of Boruto, when Kawaki or Jigen told Boruto that he's going to send him to meet the 7th. That right there seems like Jigen is probably not going to unseal Naruto anytime soon. I do want to talk about the possible new ability of the Kara Member that we did see a little bit. Now this right here might actually be an overreaction, man, because we understand the Boruto writers or the Boruto animators or the Boruto illustrators in this situation for the manga, they don't necessarily go above and beyond like the other manga artists. For example, My Hero Academia, or for example One Piece. And of course I know a lot of you guys are probably going to get mad at that statement, but it is just fact, and you guys are going to see why in this specific answer right here. Now the time where Boruto and Kawaki absorbed things in this chapter, they didn't have the Karma Seal on their face, and I'm pretty sure you guys know once they actually activate the Karma Seal fully, the Karma Seal spans all the way up to their face. Now if it does not span all the way up to their face, that pretty much means that they're doing intermittent Karma Seal use. They aren't fully activating the Karma Seal, and they only use it directly when they actually need it. Now another reason why I think that this might actually be the case is because after they absorbed the jutsu, they did not have the Karma Seal out. The Karma Seal wasn't activated, so I'm guessing that they activated for a tiny bit, and of course they unactivated after that. And this right is going to be extremely key, mainly because we understand that using the Karma Seal for these guys, it drains a lot of their energy, mainly because they don't necessarily have full control or full mastery of the Karma Seal. So if they can pretty much use it when they actually need to use it, it would be so much more effective and so much more efficient. Now of course, as I said, this might actually just be because the artists were too lazy to draw the Karma Seal on their face, and of course we've seen laziness like this before in the past when Sasuke went into the other dimension and he had his Sharingan out, but we didn't really know if Sasuke was weakened or if he wasn't weakened. For example, when Sasuke is weakened, he doesn't have the tomoes in his eyes, but when he's not weakened, he clearly has the tomoes in his eyes. Now in this situation, because the Sharingan was so small, the tomoes just weren't there. Now we don't know if Sasuke was just super weak or if the writers just didn't really want to add the tomoes mainly because it would just be too much work. That's the thing that we don't really know. So as of right now, I am going to take it as this is definitely possibly a different way to use the Karma Seal, where they just activate the Karma Seal on their arms or on their legs, and they just use it like that and pretty much conserve all the energy that they can and pretty much use it as efficiently as they can. That would definitely be a bonus overall in the use of the Karma Seal. Now I do want to point out this was the first time that Boruto actually used the Karma Seal, or this is the first time that we've seen that Boruto actually used the Karma Seal and he had some level of mastery. If you guys recall, the last time that Boruto actually tried to absorb some chakra intentionally, he pretty much burned his hand. Now in this situation, Boruto pretty much put his life on the line because acid was definitely rushing towards him and he couldn't really do anything else except absorb the acid. Now in this situation, it worked. It worked for Boruto. Now because it's the manga, because we don't necessarily get to see all the content in between all the arcs and the fights, we don't know if Boruto has been training with the Karma Seal a lot more, but in this situation it seemed very bold. But the thing that we can take away from it is Boruto is definitely learning the Karma Seal at a rapid pace, and I am definitely extremely excited for that, man, because it is a very good possibility that he does have this second stage of the Karma Seal that we did see Kawaki use and that we did see Jigen use. And of course, if Boruto does have that second stage of the Karma Seal, he's probably going to look a lot like Momoshiki. And speaking of that, Boro actually said that Boruto was actually Momoshiki's vessel. Now I spoke about this exact situation before. A lot of people out there actually made theories about this, how Momoshiki could possibly be looking at Boruto as his possible vessel. The overall theory of Momoshiki possibly looking at Boruto as his future vessel isn't necessarily far-fetched, mainly because that's the automatic idea that the Kara organization has about this whole situation. If Momoshiki is possibly going to take Boruto as his vessel, I said that it would probably be impossible for Momoshiki to successfully take Boruto as his vessel, even if he wanted to, mainly because it is still Boruto's story and Boruto has to be particularly conscious for the anime and the manga to pretty much be about him. And if he's not, it's probably going to be named Momoshiki or something like that, or Momoshiki Shippuden. And of course, we all know that's absurd. So in this situation, I think that Momoshiki, he's probably not even going to actively try to take over Boruto. I spoke about how Momoshiki could possibly be an advisor to Boruto in terms of guiding him in what he can possibly do and what he can't possibly do. And not only that, also possibly giving Boruto some of his powers. We actually seen a little bit of this when Boruto and Kawaki were actually training. Just after they trained, they pretty much connect their two fingers. And once they connected their two fingers, I'm guessing Momoshiki sensed that Kawaki also had a Karma Seal, and he understood that Kawaki's probably not going to be a very good thing in Boruto's life. So Momoshiki pretty much showed up and startled Boruto almost immediately. Now in this situation, it seems like Momoshiki is trying to protect Boruto, mainly because he doesn't necessarily want Boruto to be hanging out with Kawaki. Now the thing about this whole situation and why it probably matches up is the fact that Momoshiki actually seen Boruto's future. We've seen that from episode 65, where Momoshiki told Boruto that those blue eyes will end up taking everything from you. And of course, he said that he could pretty much see into the future. If Momoshiki was planning to take over Boruto's body, the speech that he would have probably gave Boruto would have probably been extremely different. He would have probably said something along the lines of, "Your body is now mine, just be aware," something like that. He probably wouldn't have said like, "Hey, those blue eyes are going to take everything from you. You are no longer a regular human being." Just basically informing Boruto of what lies ahead. But I definitely do want to know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Do you guys think that Momoshiki is probably going to eventually try to take over Boruto's body? And do you guys think that Momoshiki is probably going to be successful, or is he probably going to fail at doing that? Now, not only that, I do want to touch on this very quickly, and it's of course Sarada gaining an extra tomo. Now in this situation, it doesn't necessarily make it clear that Sarada actually gained the third tomo in this particular episode. Now for the people out there who actually do read the novels, you guys are probably going to know exactly what this is about. Previously in one of the Boruto books, it pretty much highlighted exactly when Sarada gained the third tomo, but it wasn't in this situation. Now automatically I understand that people are going to be arguing that in this particular episode, Sarada actually activated her third tomo, mainly because she's seen Naruto pretty much sealed away, almost possibly even forever, and only Jigen could pretty much unlock or unseal him, and that pretty much made Sarada extremely emotional, mainly because that's the person that she looks up to, not only her father, but she wants to become the Hokage just like Naruto. And of course that would definitely be a very shocking situation for Sarada, but of course the other people that read the novel, you guys are going to have a very strong argument as well. Now in terms of what I personally believe, I personally feel like Sarada unlocked the third tomo way before this situation. If she did not, and this would be the first time of her unlocking the third tomo, the reactions from Boruto and Mitsuki would have been much different. I feel like they would have probably been a little bit proud, or they would have probably commented on the situation like, hey Sarada, you have your third tomo out now, and they'd have probably made it a bigger scene, but they didn't. So that makes it seem like this is probably not the first time that this actually happened. And of course, it being the manga, it's probably going to cut out a lot of the stuff that we all want to see, and it's probably going to only include all the action, of course the big arcs, so that would definitely make a lot of sense in this situation. But I do want you guys to think about this in the comment section below. Now at the end, they did kind of tease towards this being like the new Team 7, and I absolutely loved it. It's pretty insane that Konohamaru is the leader of this Team 7. Like, this team is absolutely stacked. Like, Boruto, Sarada, Mitsuki, and Kawaki. If I'm being 100% truthful, it is very possible that probably 3 out of the 4, excluding Sarada, can probably beat Konohamaru in a one-on-one fight. Boruto with his Karma Seal, of course Kawaki, like I don't even think he needs his Karma Seal in that situation, and Mitsuki with his Sage Mode. Sarada, of course, we don't necessarily know her peak fighting condition as of yet, but of course there's a very good possibility that Sarada as well can probably beat Konohamaru. It just doesn't seem like a good situation for Konohamaru. I wish they possibly had a better leader. Now I do want to make this disclaimer, I absolutely love Konohamaru, but I think that a character like Shikamaru will probably be a much better leader. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. It's me, your boy Baara B, and we out.
Check my clock, I can't stop. Fuck around, make my 40 pop. No popcorn, I pop pistols. Reaming my body, clothing no issue. Bitch, you look sick, you need a tissue. You drop a body, I just might bless you. I'm metrosexual, no high cholesterol. Where's Jenny Craig? Bitch, just get sexual.